Man United in UEFA Champions League quarter-finals, late VAR penalty completes stunning comeback versus PSG. Marcus Rashford scored an added-time penalty to send Man United through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League on away goals at the expense of PSG. Real Madrid, Zinedine Zidane has rejected job already, says Ramon Calderon. Zinedine Zidane has rejected the chance to return as manager of Real Madrid, according to former club president Ramon Calderon. Go fuck yourselves, Neymar in Instagram rant as Man United eliminate PSG from Champions League. The Brazilian superstar was sidelined for both legs through injury but flew to Paris to watch United come from behind and knock out the French champions. Marco Reus pays tribute to Hugo Lloris after Tottenham's Dortmund triumph. Hugo Lloris was in top form as Premier League Spurs beat Bundesliga leaders Borussia Dortmund in Wednesday's Champions League round of 16 clash.
Welcome to channel The Golden Goal. We will bring you the fastest, latest news about the day of the ball world. Take the subscribe, and press the bell button to see the next videos.
Man United in UEFA Champions League quarter-finals, late VAR penalty completes stunning comeback versus PSG. Marcus Rashford scored an added-time penalty to send Man United through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League on away goals at the expense of PSG. In what was a thrilling contest at the Parc des Princes, Romelu Lukaku scored two first-half goals following two individual errors from the Parisians, one from Thilo Kehrer and one from Gianluigi Buffon, to hand United hope of becoming the first side to overturn a 2-0 home first-leg deficit in a knockout round. But Juan Bernat's 12th-minute goal looked to have handed PSG what they needed to run out aggregate winners, until United were handed, via video assistant referee, VAR, a 94th-minute penalty for handball by Presnel Kimpembe. Rashford converted the spot kick to secure a 3-1, 3-3 aggregate win for United on the night, and hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a famous win which surely will strengthen his case of being made United's permanent manager. Scoring the first goal at the Parc des Princes seemed to be on the minds of both managers in the build-up to this round of 16 seconds leg clash on Wednesday night. Indeed, both Solskjaer and Tuchel had said that scoring the opener could prove crucial to determining which team progressed to the quarter-finals. But even Solskjaer couldn't have dreamed of seeing his United side score after just 2 minutes, even if it came following a dreadful mistake by Thilo Kehrer. The 22-year-old, who had told reporters a day earlier the hosts were confident of beating United, saw his back pass latched onto by Lukaku who, despite taking a heavy touch, was able to drive it into the back of the net from a tight angle. With the goal coming after just 1 minute and 51 seconds, Lukaku's strike was the fastest scored by United in a Champions League knockout match since Wayne Rooney netted against Bayern Munich 9 years ago. It was the perfect start for United, but PSG remained remarkably cool and responded just 10 minutes later thanks to some brilliant work by Mbappé down the right flank. His cross flew across the United box and was fired past David De Gea by the incoming Juan Bernat to restore PSG's 2-goal lead in the tie. United had certainly started well despite a much-changed lineup due to injuries and Paul Pogba being suspended. But what became evident, very quickly, was how much Eric Bailly was struggling playing at right back. Time and time again, he was bypassed by Bernat and co. It would surely have been embarrassing had Solskjaer taken the right, but difficult, decision to haul him off early. But, in the end, the United boss was handed the excuse he was looking for when Bailly appeared to pick up a knock in the 35th minute. However, the substitution came after the defender played a role in United's second goal of the night, which followed yet another individual mistake by the hosts. This time, it was veteran goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon who spilled the ball after Marcus Rashford had struck at him, thereby allowing Lukaku to drive in from close range. United had just 24.1% possession in the first half, but, whenever they surged forward, they looked dangerous and, indeed, Buffon suffered another nervy moment when Diego Dalot, Bailly's replacement, saw his attempted cross take a heavy deflection and fall, just about, into the PSG goalkeeper's arms. The second half proved to be less entertaining but, equally as enthralling, as United were far more compact and sat back more and waited for PSG to slip up. The visitors were let off the hook when their former winger, Angel Di Maria, saw his 59th-minute chipped effort over De Gea chalked off for offside. Shortly after PSG had rattled the woodwork, Solskjaer sent on 17-year-old Mason Greenwood for his United debut. But the academy graduate couldn't score what would have been the crucial away goal for the visitors, though another graduate did in the form of Rashford. After VAR was used to award a late spot kick, Rashford coolly converted it to silence the home crowd and leave the travelling supporters in ecstasy. Real Madrid, Zinedine Zidane has rejected job already, says Ramon Calderon. Zinedine Zidane has rejected the chance to return as manager of Real Madrid, according to former club president Ramon Calderon. Zidane, 46, left the club last summer 5 days after winning a third straight Champions League title. Calderon told BBC Radio 5 Live, "I know that this morning the president, Florentino Perez, called Zidane to ask him back. He said not now. He has left open the possibility of coming back in June." Zidane shocked Real by walking out just days after a famous win against Liverpool, which made him the first manager to win 3 European Cups in a row and only the third to win 3 in total, along with Bob Paisley and Carlo Ancelotti. The former France captain has not managed since. Real are expected to make sweeping changes after their season was effectively ended by a humiliating last 16 defeat to Ajax. As well as being out of the Champions League and the Copa del Rey, Real are third in La Liga, 12 points behind leaders Barcelona. Real replaced Zidane with Spain coach Julen Lopetegui, a move that was a disaster for club, coach and country, but he lasted just 4 months, with Santiago Solari eventually taking the reins. Now the club are expected to replace him with a third coach this season. Calderon says former Manchester United and Chelsea boss Jose Mourinho, who managed Real between 2010 and 2013, is the favourite for the job, but such a move would be wrong. The first option for the president has always been Mourinho, Calderon said. But the problem is, who is going to run the club in the office? They are talking of the possibility of Zidane or Mourinho. They are completely different coaches with completely different ideas of football. It is an erratic and whimsical president who has brought us to this situation. There is the option of bringing in Mourinho now, but to me there is no point. Go fuck yourselves. Neymar in Instagram rant as Man United eliminate PSG from Champions League. The Brazilian superstar was sidelined for both legs through injury but flew to Paris to watch United come from behind and knock out the French champions. Neymar has taken to Instagram in the wake of Paris Saint Germain's Champions League elimination by Manchester United, going on a foul-mouthed rant about referees that could yet land him in hot water with UEFA. The Brazilian superstar has been out for some time with an injury that had ruled him out of both legs of this tie long ago, but his hopes of returning for the quarterfinals were killed when Marcus Rashford converted a late penalty after VAR intervened to punish Presnel Kimpembe for handball. PSG were stunned by the decision of referee Damir Skamana at the time, but Neymar's post-match rant went way beyond the anger of his teammates in conducting their post-match media duties. "This is a disgrace. They put 4 people that know nothing about football in charge of looking at the replay for VAR," he said. "There is no penalty. How can it be a handball when it hits his back? Go fuck yourselves." Neymar was brought to Paris in a £200 million deal with the idea of elevating the Ligue 1 champions into the continental elite, but while PSG can go toe-to-toe with any club in the transfer market, they have acquired an unfortunate knack of humiliating Champions League exits. PSG boss Thomas Tuchel defended Neymar after his outburst was read to the German in the post-match press conference. "Of course it's a strong reaction. He was at the field. Sometimes after a big fight you use words and reaction emotionally that you take back some hours later. He wanted to come back with us in the quarterfinals and he's been biting his nails at every game we've played, so don't be too hard with him." I wouldn't overinterpret the use of his words. In the heat of the moment, it's quickly typed into a smartphone. Marco Reus pays tribute to Hugo Lloris after Tottenham's Dortmund triumph. Hugo Lloris was in top form as Premier League Spurs beat Bundesliga leaders Borussia Dortmund in Wednesday's Champions League round of 16 clash. Marco Reus has paid tribute to Tottenham goalkeeper Hugo Lloris after he made a series of impressive saves in Wednesday's 1-0 Champions League win away at Borussia Dortmund, speaking to Goal. Dortmund were the dominant side throughout the second leg clash at Signal Iduna Park, terrorizing Spurs' backline with their speed and movement throughout a thrilling yet goalless first half. Lloris made 7 saves on the night, including a superb fingertip stop to deny a Mario Götze curler, while Harry Kane fired home a winner against the run of play just after halftime. "We needed a goal before halftime, we did not make it," said Dortmund captain Reus, who saw a deflected drive smartly stopped by the former Lion glovesman in the first half. "We had an incredible number of chances to score, but Hugo Lloris also did very well." The performance could hardly have been better timed for Lloris, who came under a huge amount of criticism for conceding 2 soft goals in Spurs' Premier League defeat away at Chelsea a week ago.